I would like to now call on Party Leader Patrick Rogers for his remarks.
Greetings, Belizeans at home and abroad. I took the liberty to type out something which I don't normally do. I prefer impromptu because of an heart to the brain to the mouth, as Brother George says. But needless to say, with the time running out on us, I want to circumvent my written presentation so I want to get a feeling of where the Belize Progressive Party is at. I am humbled that these brothers and sisters keep referring to me as party leader, when in effect that I am a political leader of a new Belizean consciousness that has each and every member sitting at this head table and in this front row that are candidates being capable, competent, and have the testicular fortitude to be a national leader for this movement. It is with great honor that I stand here, knowing that my brothers and sisters determined that I should be selected to be the political leader until such time as our body can grow to hopefully 31 candidates within the next 2 weeks' time. Getting back to what we are about, it's not about the self. We understand clearly that this struggle we've taken on may turn out to be a multi-generational struggle, in the sense that we have changed already, Belize. Each and every single member at this head table have already changed. I am Belize, you are Belize. But until the majority of Belizeans accept the fact that Belize can never, ever be changed, until you look yourself in the mirror and said, Belize have changed today because I have changed today. Until that message can be introspectively identified, we will have to just keep doing what we're doing, which is to say, keep on doing what we're doing with some modifications along the way until you all get the sense we not got no way to go. And we as individuals are doing this for the rest of us. So the win, when it comes, it won't be for Patrick. It won't be for Brother Charles, Brother Bobby, Brother Will. It won't be for any of the candidates. It won't be for the executive members who are not candidates. It will be a win for Belize, for the people of Belize. And for that to happen, you have to take ownership of this Belize Progressive Party. You invest money or you invest time. In business, we call it sweat equity. So we will win when enough Belizeans understand they need to invest some sweat equity in this new Belizean political consciousness. We will be going door to door. We won't have any money to go into our pocket and say, oh there. That is not how we operate. You will not be taking ownership of this party if we are doing that. Who would take ownership that the oligarchy that would have given us had we accepted the $500,000, because when the oligarchy is doing it, they're willing to give $500,000, you know. But we had to explain that we're not about forming a liberal party here, Belize. We're not about forming a liberal party that would have gladly accepted $500,000 from the oligarchy. We're about forming a labor movement. So our ideology, our philosophy is based on labor. We are, in effect, the Labour Party of Belize. If I could have chosen a name, that would have been the name that I would have chosen. However, it is not about Patrick. It's about our collective wisdom that we trust. We always figure that there's no way the I can be right when the we is of a different opinion. So it is with humility, Mr. Moore, that we accept the Belize Progressive Party, that we know the Belizeans have given us that name. But there were countless people who voted for that name, with the exclusion of the executive here. Oh, you voted. So there we go. The plan was that we were not supposed to vote.
Well,
so
I'm
that,
ex-official.
okay, I'll take that. We hardly get to vote. The political officers cannot vote on our executive. This is what sets us apart. I'm not a party leader in the sense of Francis Fonseca or Dean Barrow. I work for my executive. My executive no work for me. I have to go there to the executive like every other political leader here and put to them our position and make sure that it's good for Belize, and then the executive may vote that yes, Patrick, yes, Bobby, Charles will be on. You can proceed. But it is not a top-down mentality where I will come and say, I, as the leader, know what is best for you, Belize. We have a concept of what is good, but we need in time to get into the different divisions we're contesting and take that concept that is a bird's eye view of what is good down to the local level to identify the key issues with you all. 5 weeks is a lot of time. We're not intimidated with 5 weeks by no means. The problem is that although we have ideas that we're formulating into policies, we do not put the cart before the horse. We were caught literally off guard because we were at the point of bringing more independence on board, some of them still wavering as of today. But I'm sure before the nomination day on the 16th, we will have over 20 candidates presented. Each and every single organization or individual have been made stronger by this amalgamation. So that 300 and odd votes, Bob, expect that to more than double indeed, because it is a known fact that the collective effort will yield more than if we add up the individual efforts and get the same. So yes, we are very, very excited today to say that a new political consciousness has emerged, and it has emerged with a lot of respect, a lot of humility, a lot of honor, and a lot of honesty. Because those are the things that we consider the glue that brought us together, that will keep us together. We give respect to each other. We always understand it's never about the I, that we were in effect raised up from amongst brothers and sisters to be called political leaders, but it is not about us, because one leader listens to the constituency and go do what the constituency said. One leader now rule over the people and come and say, I will build you on dam. It no matter that they want dam, we want to kill our people with mercury, where for 50 years will not pay taxes, where for 50 years they don't have to pay for utilize the water resource. And that is the entity that the Prime Minister should have nationalized if we want to nationalize electricity utility. He could have left BEL alone. The workers would have eventually owned that place like they should have, and then nationalize BECO. But the foreign direct investors have gotten away without paying tax for 10, 20, 30-year periods with an option to renew for the exact number of years that they have. And hence the reason PUP and UDP can only pay lip service to Belize that they will give free education to 6 farms, that they want to do this. It's a promise to a fool, because until you change the revenue structure, the way you collect revenues in this country, we will only have so much monies to be able to provide projects and programs with. So when we say we have a concept but we can't give you the detail, because although I've been trying to get my hands on the actual number of lost revenues, which is the way the donor countries look at Belize, lost revenue for this thing we call fiscal incentives or concessions. These companies get away with not paying taxes that would exceed the collective amount when you add up customs, immigration, all the other tax sources in this country. Every country that has ever been allowed to tax the foreign direct investors is considered a wealthy donor country. But every country that follows this foreign direct investment model that have yielded 55% poverty, that have yielded, 55% uneducated people, 45% poverty. This is what foreign direct investment have brought us, because they have not been able to tax the foreign direct investors. So that is why we're saying we're a Labour Party. We're a Labour Party. If the labor unions did the right thing, they would have had about 6 to 7 candidates with us here right now today. We worked very hard at bringing that for you, Belize. But of course, the PM, in his demented mind, went ahead and dabbed everybody hand with that Petrocarib money. And everybody feel beholden to this man now that, oh, I benefit, so I can't call it corruption. Because you see, that is all it comes down to. Everybody benefiting from corruption under the UDP have nothing to say about corruption. Where is the ACB today? Association Concerned About Barrow. I mean, sorry. Did I say Barrow? Where are they today? I mean, I could tell you some high positions wrong in a government, statutory bodies, ambassadors and things like that. But except for Brother Jeremy Schooners, I haven't heard any other ACB talking. Now, I'm saying this to make the point that when in opposition, you are here, all of the ACB come back with a new name again because that game just threw up an organization before the election to try and critique the issue of corruption. And then basically, when they're in government, they mug up on mute. Well, we have been consistently saying, Belize, that there's a direct correlation between corruption, which is crime committed with a pen, and the mayhem in the streets, right? Which are the criminals using guns. The more the corruption go up with the pen, the less resources are available to put in place safety nets for our brothers and sisters. And hence the reason we have mass dropouts from school, we have no access to health care. All of those things are a direct result of not having the resources that were depleted through corruption. So yes, the Belize Progressive Party has a zero tolerance and corruption position. Because we understand, as the national campaign manager says, that the root of corruption is right there at campaign financing. So we would have loved to be in a society where the government in effect provide whatever million, $500,000 or $1.5 million to each of the respective parties to do their campaign. We would have loved to be in a real democratic society that has fixed election dates, so we could have continued this process we started and not have to circumvent it and end up just to look for candidates where we were actually actively recruiting candidates. Now we have to put out a request to you all. We didn't have time to reach you. Me and Bob and Will were taking personal visits from Toledo to Corozal, Cayo, San Pedro to do recruiting. But with them calling the election 3 years and 8 months, we now have to get into our respective areas. And if you need to see us, I kind of have to come meet me in a Khaled, because the truth is, I intend to meet as much people as I can in Khaled and take our message to them. Because we don't have money, we have our message, our very real message, that if you want change, you vote for change. PUP, UDP, as we call them, they both represent conservative right-wing capitalist parties. Now, there's this vacuum, as I said, for this liberal party that the many people in this country were looking and hoping that the BPP had moved along that line. Had we moved along that line and saying, yeah, we know what tax, we allow if we go through just like, same old game, we don't may have to beg for $500,000 here, we may have done about $1.5 million in our kitty. But because we've been adamant that we consider ourselves a labor movement frightens them, because they understand that when the power changes, the tax regime will change. And once the workers understand that the change paradigm will alleviate some of that burden, we're the most taxed society in this hemisphere. We're at 25% personal income tax. None of the corporations in this country is to pay that. Well, I never know that, true. On the back of the working class, this government gets its money. And every copper you borrow, on the back of the working class, you can take the money out of the Consolidated Revenue Fund and pay them loans. So we're saying, let's be real, Belize. When I want to change this game, I'm an accountant by degree. That's what I am. I know numbers. They can't throw numbers at me. I'm able to see right through anything they throw at me, like the BTL fiasco when I give Michael Ashcroft $45 million from way back when they said Channel 5 offered Michael Ashcroft, because they know Michael Ashcroft used part of the $22.5 million US that he borrowed from his own bank to purchase Channel 5. But you see, the lawyers weren't willing to pay an accountant 1% of $45 million, which would be close to $500,000. And myself or any auditor, accountant could have gone in there and showed them, see the rest of the $45 million when Mr. Ashcroft spent that didn't benefit BTL. Now, if you hear the Prime Minister going to meet with this man and unilaterally make one deal to put not 45 million now, but 97 million of Belizean money given away, because it's his bank now that will collect 52 million in interest, Belize. That's what has him so happy about this. So we're saying the BPP, if elected on November 4th, any one of our members, because this is what you need to understand. All we don't need to win. We never need 60. If one of us were to get in that house, things change, Belize, because there would be no more secret documents. Anything that should be known by people will be brought out of that honorable house to consult with our people the way governance should have been done. So had I been in that house, I assure you that we would have brought up the matter that, Mr. Prime Minister, immediately after you nationalized BTL, you should have sent Michael Ashcroft a bill for 45 million. Then we may have to talk about interest on top of 45 million that BTL did not spend, please. And just to give you one example of why accountants are needed in government. All right? You look at BEL again, 34 million invested by Fortis. Not another dollar. Not another dollar. From way back in 1998, then chancellor the workers, not getting a raise, not pay bonuses or nothing, and then they made super profits that they put back into the company, knowing that one day they will be able to record a huge capital gain by only investing $34 million in Belize. So this is why we're saying we are of the opinion that the BEL Workers Union needs to own BEL. Once elected, will ensure that the National Bank loan to the BEL Workers Union, the 35 million needed to buy out Fortis, 33.33% in BEL, and have it be one truly national-owned company with the government controlling majority shares and the workers being the minority shareholder in that company.
That's very good.
Now, BTL, the same holds true, right? The workers should own that company. But of course, a trust fund is set up that, you know, the life on trust 125 years. For 125 years, the workers now have no say in who will be directors there, because the government of the day will still be selecting the directors instead of Michael Ashcroft. Now, if the workers were to get that loan and pay that money through the National Bank again, because they want to start one national bank, well, there's a reason for a national bank, you know, to ensure the productive sector and labor is respected.
That's right.
So we're saying that when the owners take control of these entities, the profits are not going to be expatriated. The profits will be held here in Belize and help to grow our local economy. ASR again, I'm sure, you know, we said no, I like hearing this, but we have always supported the sugarcane farmers and the workers owning ASR. They had a plan to do, and had they gotten ownership, they wouldn't have had to had no tax concession given to them the way ASR has 10 years that they won't be paying any taxes. So we call this one sample of Belize because we've gone over time, and as I said, when I go impromptu, we could be there all day. But at the ending of it, we're available for interviews Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 for 34 days, like Bob said. Business dip on the back burner because we have to roll up with sleeve and be prepared for any chance encounter by the media, because we know and I like give you a lot of airtime, right? I mean, let's be real. ONU needed to fix this problem, because when on the right we are and then report we in the media or record this press conference and selectively pick where I help UDP for that station or selectively pick where I help UP for the other station, when not do justice to the democracy. The independent media, they want key part of a functional democracy. And when the individuals that come and record these things go back to their bosses, the editors, and the editors say, scratch that out. That one hurt the party. You see where we're heading with this, right? So I'm saying, I'm making a personal appeal to you all.
So we're recording our own.
Personal appeal. Record and put out there so that people could make their own determination if what we're talking is sense or nonsense. But do not selectively take portions of what we say and put one spin out there to facilitate some idea that you want to leave in the voter head, that we are insignificant. There's nothing insignificant about this third movement. What is insignificant is the fact that money does not have to play a role in us being elected. All right? We've never, ever thought that we will need money to win. We've always said we need a message and we need time. And I'm going to close with that. We've got our message and we got time. So that when we're ready for change, we will be here waiting to effect that change for you. I thank you.